Welcome to Apricot Cottage Studio. My name is Roxanne and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I thought today I would show you my system of utilizing any extra sentiments or taking advantage of the new set called Many Messages from Stampin' Up! It's in the new catalog. There's 19 sentiments here. And you probably want to see how I've organized so I can make the most of that set. So this is what it looks like when you stamp it out. What I do is I cut a whole pile of paper colors that I enjoy using, white, black, and several of shades, one pink, one blue, and then I have them all ready to go. I set up my Stampin' platform and I set it up in my machine so that it's ready to go. And I do it, I'll sit and spend an hour stamping out my sentiments, and then I can sit and die cut them all. And then I'll show you how I organize them. So this is the set, and it comes as one stamp altogether, so it makes it really nice and easy. But it's useful to have a Stampin' platform like this so that you can stamp as best you can. So I'm going to use my Vera Mark, and you can see it's getting a little dirty because I've used it on quite a few different series of colors. And so I ink it up and I press down, making sure, especially this one in the middle, and because I've used my magnets, I can double stamp it, get a nice impression. There's my Vera Mark pad, put the lid on there, close my lid, make sure that I've got it nicely pressed down. And I'm not so sure about this side. Make sure that it's inked up. I'm going to just ink that one more time, make sure that it's well inked. There we go. And then I pull off my magnets. I have a piece of scrap paper on this side, and I have my embossing powder. I'm going to use white. I like to use embossing powder on this because it really makes the sentiments pop. You can just use ink if you want to, and I've done quite a few with just ink, but I also like to use my embossing powder. So if you have the little jar of embossing powder, you can just dabble it on like this. I don't have the jar. I like to have it in a little container, and you can see that it stamped beautifully on there. And I will emboss quite a few of them, and then I'll put them aside and I'll put them through my embossing gun and heat them all at once. I take my little piece of paper and tip my embossing powder back into my container. Since I'm only doing the one to demonstrate today, usually I do 5 or 6 at a time, all different colors. And then I take my die, it's all one piece, I line it up on the sentiments, and an easy way to make sure that it's lined up properly, there's a little heart and a little star and another little star. So if you line those up, it cuts beautifully and cuts 19 of those little pieces of paper. So I also cut not only the ones I emboss, but I run it through sometimes just on a couple of blank sheets so that I have some extra pieces that I can layer to make my sentiments stand up more. So here's a card that I made. These are just scraps from the snowflake cards that I was making, and I had them on my desk, so I layered them. And this is the sentiment strip, in fact 2 of them. This is one, and it's layered so that it's got a little bit of dimension. And then this one that says happy birthday, that's a strip. And then this is a strip from another one that I've layered. I've got the 2 little stars from the set as well to make my card. So what do I do with them? Because I've only used 2 on this, so I've got a lot of extra ones left over. So I made a little book like this that sits on my desk, and it's got some little pockets that I sewed with some plastic or some vellum to stick them in. So if I'm cutting just one or two ones, this is a great solution, and this sits up on my desk so I can see them. But what I found was more effective was using sport card pockets like this. You can buy these at the dollar shop. They're not very expensive. And I also had a pile of business card envelopes, little plastic envelopes, and I've combined them in a binder. And I'm going to add this to my front of my binder so I know what's in here, in my front pocket. And then what I've done is I've used slider pockets. These are for the slides that we used to use, and I had a bunch of those. And there's my sports card pockets. And I've cut out my words from my other sets, my embossing sets, and my pockets here. The small pockets work really well for these tiny ones that say hello, and I've color-coded some of them so that I can find the ones that I want colored quickly. And then I've got the words cut up, and I've used the categories of birthday, sympathy, congrats, thanks, and get well as my main categories. I put baby ones under congrats and wedding ones under congrats. This has also got pockets in here, so when I stamped some inserts, especially for sympathy cards, which I tend to need a lot lately, I've got some sayings in here already stamped, and they go in the pocket. And then I've got the sympathy words cut out and the sayings as well. Be strong, be brave, you've got this, in my little folder, and that stands up upright. I have seen people use tackle boxes. The difficulty that I found with that, I tried it, is that they take up a lot of space and you are trying to grab them. I find with these little plastic pockets, I've inserted them into the little slots so they come out very easily, and I've just trimmed them with scissors so that they fit nicely into those pockets. And this system seems to be an easy way for me to add sentiments. The sentiments on here are small, so they're great for tags, or they're really good for adding additional sentiments. So if you have a bigger saying or a bigger stamp, then you can put a little strip. That's why I've done quite a few in black or blue, because they make nice contrast to a nice stamped card. So hopefully you found this useful, and if you're interested in purchasing this, let me know, because I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and can help you get the many messages set. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you come back again.